So this has made its way across my feed a few times on Netflix, and I decided to go ahead and check out the trailer. And I'm like, okay, I don't know, it doesn't really look that interesting to me. And it probably took me about 2 weeks to say, okay, I got a little bit of spare time. Let's see what's going on here. So this is Jailbreak, the documentary. Jailbreak, Love on the Run. This came out in 2024. You can only find it on Netflix. It is a Netflix special. Let's get to the description. An Alabama corrections officer falls in love with a man awaiting trial for murder and risks it all to help him escape. Yes. So you have this aging woman correctional officer. Um, Seems like everybody loves her. I forgot her name, and I don't even really care. Just because it really didn't add or subtract too much in this documentary. But um, it 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 seemed like everybody loved her for the most part. It does not have her in this documentary, and it does not have him, the murderer who's awaiting trial. It basically just has a bunch of her coworkers. It has a couple of guys, ex convicts that did time with this gentleman, and it gets them in the documentary just talking about it, right? And on both sides, from the corrections point of view and from the inmates point of view, and the relationship that they had, and how some people were starting to suspect, like, "Oh, I kind of thought something was going on." They would spend a little bit of time together by themselves, and as things started coming out, well, actually, I should say how everything came out towards the end. Once the whole fiasco was done, I was able to see, like, oh, okay, wow, this got interesting after the fact, right? So, yes, you have this aging woman who, some way, somehow, falls in love with this inmate, all right? And she's also getting close to retiring. And as one of her coworkers said, she had told her she's going to retire, and the day that she doesn't come back, she's leaving, and but she's leaving with a bang. And boy, did she, because yes, she had planned everything to help him break out. Now, when I say break out, it doesn't mean actually with force. She doesn't need to do that. She's got all the keys. She could plan things out. She could just let him out and they could be on their way, which is that's what happened. They go out on the run, right? And at first, it's like, okay, is she in on it or has she been taken hostage? And very quickly, they find out that she's in on it. And what happens after that is just one bad move after another, which ends up getting them caught. And I think that is what kind of got me a little bit like, okay, why would you do this instead of that? Why would you be there? Why would you get that kind of vehicle? Why would and at the same thing in the documentary, the people that were trying to track them down, they're just like, yeah, we got no idea. They weren't, she wasn't that street smart to get this type of vehicle that stands out. And I was just like, exactly. Why don't you get like a vehicle that just blends in with all the other vehicles? But hey, look, nonetheless, um, it wasn't that good of a documentary. I mean, it wasn't that bad either. I I could have gone without watching it. Um, he, you know what? I'll leave it right there. I don't want this sucker to be too long. Look, I probably should have never watched it. I should have listened to my gut because I didn't really get much out of this. It wasn't that interesting, but it was decent. How it ended, and how they were able to retrieve all the text messages and phone calls and all these things. I thought that part was interesting because it was after the fact, after they got caught. they were able to catch another cell phone that was used and recorded all their phone calls and their text messages, which opened up the doors to us like, oh, okay, we got everything we need here. But it was already too late by that point. But nonetheless, look, if you guys want to go ahead and check it out, that's fine. Go ahead, check it out. I didn't really find anything here for me, so I'll leave it at that. That is Jailbreak. Love on the Run. Catch you guys on next one.